Okay, so every one of you, you send me the different answers, and I am not going to talk about such answer right now. I'm just going to talk about the answer only, na? My answer and the correct answer. So you can check your answers and you can update your answer accordingly, right? So if you remember, the question was like, you need to state and explain, state and explain in terms of motion and arrangement, right? You need to explain your answer in these two terms, right? And what was the process that you need to define? That was melting, right? And we know that the melting is actually the conversion of solid into liquid state, right, Macho? So how can we write this answer for 2 marks? Remember, this is the question which is telling you the marking scheme right now. You can see the marking scheme accordingly from the question. How can you write answer according to the marking scheme? Just look at over here. They are saying explain in terms of motion and arrangement. So you need to use these words in your answer. If you use the arrangement and the motion of solid and liquid over in your answer, so definitely the answer will be perfect and it will give you 2 marks, right? So what will be the answer? Remember, melting is what? Melting is actually the process in which we have conversion of solid into liquid, right? So we know that in solid, particles are well arranged, right? And in liquids, they are disordered. You can say that disorderly arranged because they can overlap over each other, right? And if you talk about motion, so we know that in solid, the particles are tightly packed. So that is why they show vibratory motion. They are tightly packed, so exhibit vibratory motion, right? And if you talk about liquids, so you need to remember this, that they are loosely packed, so they can move from one place to another. So you can say that they can move throughout the liquid, move throughout the liquid. So this is actually the answer. You need to use these words in your answer. And how can you frame your answer, bacho? You can frame your answer like this, that initially the particles are tightly packed. Particles are tightly packed in orderly arranged pattern, right? And vibrating from their fixed position, and vibrating from their fixed position. After heating, the particle are going to be definitely the solid is going to be melted over the liquid. So definitely there should be some heat that you are using to do this now. So for example, after heating or after getting energy, whatever you want to write over here, you can. After heating, the solid particles or the particles are disorderly arranged and start moving throughout the liquid. This is a very common question in exams about the states of matter. So you need to see the answer, that how can you write the answer of this, right? Every one of you did very well practice, very well efforts from your side, but still you need to remember that examiner will always give you marks on your correct answer, not on your efforts, right? So you need to work accordingly. You need to answer accordingly. You need to answer according to marking scheme, what they are asking for. For example, right now we are not even showing that the vibratory motion over here, and if you're not talking about the moment throughout the liquid over here. So definitely they are not going to give us 2 marks of this answer. They will give us only 1 mark if we just talk about that they are orderly arranged and they are disorderly arranged. Or for example, if you talk about the vibration and if you talk about movement throughout the liquid, so definitely they will again give you 1 mark if you don't talk about arrangements of the particle in solid and liquid. So this is what you need to understand, that what examiner is asking for you, you need to answer accordingly, right? But so that is actually the marking scheme. If you are able to understand the question perfectly, then you can write the answer very perfectly, right, Bacho?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move towards the new thing in today's class, that is heating curve. Today we are going to talk about heating curve, right? This is heating curve. For heating curve, you need to draw one x-axis and one y-axis. Okay, this is x-axis and y-axis. So over here also, like this is time and this is temperature, right? So for example, if you are heating any substance, for example, if you are heating any substance and that is a solid at room temperature and pressure, so it will be like this. For example, I'm taking start from here, right? You are heating something and it start increasing the temperature and then it start like this. This is actually one of the heating curve over here. Right now you can see this. You have one substance over here, right? You are heating that substance and just look at over here. For example, I am just taking the temperature different over here. For example, this is 20, this is 40, this is 60, this is 80, this is 100, this is 120, 140, 160, 180, and 200, for example. And for example, 220, right? So this is actually one of the heating curve that you need to understand few things over here, that how can you read this, how can you understand this graph. Just look at over here, bacho. The substance is solid over here. This is the substance solid over here. So you know that, bacho, what is the room temperature actually? For example, if the examiner asking that is that a solid at room temperature or not, so you can simply say that yes, there's a solid, because you can see this is 30, right? There's a 30 and before 30 we will have 25 and it is still solid at 25 degrees centigrade now. So 25 degrees centigrade is actually room temperature and pressure, right? And this substance is still solid till 140, I think now. And before 140 it is actually solid. So you can say that this substance what we are heating right now, it is solid at room temperature and pressure. And when you start heating, it start increasing time, because आप जब heat करोगे तो temperature बढ़ेगा और उसको time भी चाहिए होगा heat करने के. So the temperature is increasing, right? And the temperature is increasing. So this is the substance which is in front of you is still solid over here till this point. So you can see this, bacho. If someone asks you that what is the melting point of this solid, so you can say that the melting point of this solid is 130 degrees centigrade. You can say that this solid is going to convert into liquid at 130 degrees centigrade. And you need to understand this over here during this time period. During this time period, you can see this, the temperature is constant. Over this time period, if you focus, this is the time period over which the temperature is not increasing, right? Why the temperature is not increasing over this time? You can see this, the constant temperature is showing, why the temperature is constant at this time. Yes, any one of you, why the temperature is not increasing during this time? Still we are heating, but the temperature is not increasing. Why?
So because the state is changing, and when during the state changes, the temperature does not increase.
Exactly, the state is changes. Actually, the temperature we are providing or the energy we are providing are actually, these energies are going to be used to change the state right now. So over here, the solid and liquid both are existing over here, right? This is the platform where solid and liquid, both the states are present of this substance, because this substance is melting over here. So some of that substance is solid over here, and some of that particles are become liquid over here due to the temperature. So still you are heating, and the temperature is not increasing, because all the temperature and all the energies are using to convert this solid into liquid state. Once all the substance has been completely converted into liquid, then again temperature start rising, right? So that is showing you one very common and very important point over here is pure substances. Pure substances have sharp melting point. Remember this point, right? Whatever, if you want to check that substance is that pure or not, you can check by melting. If you melt that substance, and substance is going to be melt over the sharp melting point. For example, melting जहां से start हुई उसी temperature पे melting complete हुई, right? There is no range of temperature. Start melting at 130 degrees centigrade, and all the substance has been completely melt at 130 degrees centigrade. There is no range of temperature. Temperature is completely constant, right? That means this substance is pure. Whatever the solid is, this is completely pure, right? There is no impurities in this substance. So for example, if there will be some impurities in this substance, so you need to keep remember, impurities क्या करती हैं बच्चों? Impurities decrease the melting point, right? Impurities decrease the melting point. एक तो आपका melting point decrease हो जाएगा, then it will show the melting on various temperatures, right? And it will show the range of temperature. For example, if it was impure, so the melting will be like it start like from 120 degrees centigrade and till 125 degrees centigrade. So it will be like this. So if any substance which start melting before its melting point, before its sharp melting point, that means that substance is actually impure, right? And one more thing you will face, that substance is you can say that it is impure, and it will show the melting point on various temperatures, right bacho?
Yes.
Okay, just do this in your copy and give me a minute. Let me take a sip of water. Yes bacho, done?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, one more thing, bacho, if you are going to still heating this substance, so it will be going to convert into gaseous state as well. So for example, if I am increasing the time of heating, for example, if I increase the time of heating, definitely the substance is going to be boil as well. So you can even find out what you can even find out. You can even find out the boiling point of this substance as well. So here you can find out the boiling point as well, right? So you can see this over here, but so right now this is completely converted into liquid. So this is liquid, right? And over this point, it is going to convert it into liquid and gaseous state, right? So this is liquid and gaseous state, and over here it is completely gaseous, right? You can say that this point, at this point, this is actually the boiling point of this substance. This is the boiling point. What is the boiling point? You can see this, bacho. The boiling point is actually 200 degree centigrade, right? So the boiling point of this substance is 200 degree centigrade, right? Yes, bacho, is that clear to all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and again, one more time, if you focus over here, then at this point, there is no change in temperature, because the energy that we are providing over here, it is going to use to convert this, so this, for example, this liquid is going to convert into gaseousness. For all the energy that we are providing over this substance is going to be converted into gaseous state, right? तो आपने याद रखना है बच्चों कि जब भी state change होती है, whenever the state is going to be changed, there is no increase or no decrease in temperature, right? Is that right, bachcho?
Yes.
And the second important thing that you need to remember, bachcho, is that, for example, if any substance is pure, so its melting point and boiling point will be sharp, right? So if the substance is pure, so definitely it has sharp melting point, and also it will have sharp boiling point as well. Pure substances have sharp boiling point as well, right? Sharp boiling point. And you need to keep remember, if, and sharp means it will be fixed. For example, if you have pure water, so definitely pure water will have exactly 100 degrees centigrade boiling point. It is start boiling at 100 degrees centigrade, and all the water going to be evaporated in and converted into the gaseous state at 100 degrees centigrade, right? And then you need to understand this: if the water is impure, if any liquid is impure, any impure liquid, right? अगर आपके पास कोई impure liquid होगा, so you need to keep remember that boiling point increases, right? You need to keep remember, बच्चों, boiling point increase होता है, melting point decrease होता है, right? You need to keep remember the difference. So if you have impure water or whatever the water we are using in our houses, so it start melting from 104, I think 104 or maybe 105, and it has a range of boiling, and it will still it is not completely boiled, and it is still boiling, and the temperature raises to 109 degrees centigrade. That means this substance or whatever the liquid you have, for example, right now we are talking about water, so this water is actually impure because it is boiling with the range of temperature, and during the boiling the temperature is increasing. When the temperature is increasing during the boiling or during the melting, that means that substance is not pure, right, bacho? This is very important point to remember. Okay.
Yes.
And for example, if it is 10 minutes and it is 20 minutes and it is 30 minutes and it is 40 minutes, so examiner can even ask you what is the time when the solid X, for example, there's a solid X. They can ask what is the time when solid X start melting. So you can say that after 10 minutes, solid X start melting. Or they can even ask that how in how many times or in how many minutes the solid X completely converted into liquid. So you can say that in 10 minutes of a start boiling, it is completely converted into liquid state, right? So all these kind of questions you can find out from the graph, right, bacho?
Yes, sir.
Any problem with this graph?
No.
Okay, that's pretty good. Now I want from your side, bacho, I want that आप मुझे बनाकर दिखाएं cooling curve. Can you draw the cooling curve, bacho? Just try to draw the cooling curve. Okay. try to draw the cooling curve.